My name is Josephine Lang, and today I'd like to talk to you about the very, very important principle of forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of those magical balms that heals everything, and sometimes it feels like we can't forgive. We just are so upset over something that's happened. And if we're at that place, we can just try on the thought of being willing to forgive at some point. That's a good first step, and sometimes even that is too hard. And so we can even be willing to forgive. And that's a great way to get started. My wonderful spiritual teacher, Jana Massey, taught me that that forgiveness is the law of erasure, meaning to erase something, to wipe it off the blackboard of life. And she said that forgiveness erases the hurt so that the truth can be made known. And what really happens when we forgive is we do begin to ease our mind. We help ourselves to let go of that hurt. We help that anxious mind to move more to the heart so that we can place our forward movement in our mind in that heart space instead of in that agitated mind. Forgiveness also helps us to step out of that feeling of separation, them versus us, or them versus me, or the other and I. And it helps us to move more into that open mind of oneness, which is what all of the great spiritual teachings aspire to. Forgiveness also helps us to just change of perspective. That's what they teach in the Course of Miracles. They say that a miracle is a change in perspective. And when we step into forgiveness, we really do change our viewpoint. We change the way we look at things. Now, Louise Hay, of course, the great spiritual teacher of our time, has also taught a couple of wonderful affirmations, and I have used these affirmations for over 3 decades now. And the first one goes like this: I forgive you for not being the way that I wanted you to be. I forgive you and I set you free, and thereby free myself. And that's a very interesting affirmation because it does own our own self-responsibility for the situations that we have put ourselves into that have created a situation where we feel we need to forgive. So I'll say that again. I forgive you for not being the way that I wanted you to be. I forgive you and I set you free, and thereby free myself. Now, Louise also gave a wonderful set of 3 affirmations that go like this: I forgive you for any pain that you may have caused me. I ask that you forgive me for any pain that I may have caused you. And I forgive myself for allowing you to cause me any pain. And those are very nice because it's a two-way street, as often in forgiveness. I know that in my own relationship with my darling husband, Frank, that if I find him doing something that has really bothered me and I think that he should apologize, if I just look back in time, I usually find something that I did before he did whatever his offense was that was very similar. And so that helps me to move to more understanding, to see why he may have reciprocated with that action that caused me to then feel like I wanted to point the finger at him. You know that old saying where if you find yourself pointing the finger at somebody, you want to oil the hinge right here so that it points back at yourself. And oftentimes that can be the case with forgiveness. So it's a good idea to look back and just to see what our participation may have been. So again, those 3 affirmations from Louise. I forgive you for any pain that you may have caused me. I ask that you forgive me for any pain that I may have caused you. And I forgive myself for allowing you to cause me any pain. There's that old parable about how the person walks down the street and falls in the hole. Later they walk down the street, they walk around the hole. Later they take another street. And that's what that last one is. I forgive myself for allowing you to cause me any pain. Sometimes we can create different circumstances and situations so that we don't get into a situation of injury in the first place. So then there's also a beautiful exercise that I have done over the years many times, which is where I just look back in my life and I think of all of the situations where I feel that somebody has wronged me, and then I just forgive them. And of course, forgiveness is not condoning whatever the person has done. Forgiveness is just letting it go, just letting them go, so that we don't have to think about it anymore. Sometimes we get in a broken record in our mind where we're just like over and over again, why did this happen? Why did this happen? Why did they do that to me? Why did they do that to me? Instead, we can just choose a different thought. Like, I choose to let go with love. Or, some other thought that might be more appropriate if that's too much for us to do. I choose to just let go. Or perhaps we might want to think about something that we would like to think instead. Like, I often think about how sometimes the stinker experiences in my life, the experiences that have been very tough, I want to think of those. In hindsight, I see how maybe there has been some good that has come out of that. Like, for instance, when my mother died when I was very young, I learned how to be my own mother and how to take care of myself. So that's the silver lining behind that cloud of that early death and that lack of, where I was like angry with God or the divine. How could you do this to me? How could you have taken my mother? So forgiveness is a beautiful way to unburden ourselves. Forgiveness is how we can really take the opportunity to process the experiences of our lives and to grow our souls. It also helps us to come to more gentleness in our thoughts about ourselves and our thoughts about others. So forgiveness is well worth our time and our energy. And I hope that you've enjoyed this little video, and I hope that it's been of some assistance to you. And thanks so much for watching. And if you get a chance, please check out my website. It's stepintomagic.com. Thank you so very much. Bye for now.